She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Thanks so much for joining us today. Hey, today might be that day that you need that nice shot in the arm. My day was yesterday that I needed the shot in the arm, and the day before. I had 2 consecutive days where it's just like, you know what I mean? Where you just feel yucca. Well, if that's how you're feeling today, you're not going to feel that way by the time we are done spending some time together. You are going to meet somebody that is so precious to this community, somebody who has made a big difference in so many different people's lives through not only her story, but just how she has integrated herself inside of this community. And I had the chance to be with her in Israel and spend quite a bit of time, lots of different conversations, shed a lot of tears together. But if you've been in that place where you kind of been living a lie, you know, you think you got it all together, but man, you're living society's definition of success, and that definition of success is starting to weigh on you. It's taking a toll on you. In fact, it's beating you up. That's exactly where Estella found herself. So Estella, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. Hi, everyone.
Okay, so tell us what was going on in your life before you heard about First Steps to Success.
Before I heard about First Steps to Success, I was depressed. I didn't even know it. I was living a life for everyone else, for the attention of everyone else, for the admiration, acceptance of everyone else, for the validation of others, for their recognition, for their attention. And I was depressed. It was eating me up inside. Mm-hmm. There was days where I couldn't get out of bed. I'd go straight to work and come home and couldn't get out of bed. Or there was a season in my life where all I did was go out and drink and come home and then go to work, and it was a repeat all over again. So, and none of it led to peace or happiness or any kind of satisfaction within my spirit, within myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, okay, so you were a single girl, you know, who had a good career, you're making good money, and you're the partier. You know, you're out there just tanking it, like, you know, night after night. Did you go clubbing or anything like that?
Yes, I was the girl that was in the industry. I was VIP.
What does that mean in the industry and VIP?
In the industry, meaning like the nightlife industry. So, you know, all the club managers and promoters all knew me. So I was a girl that literally kind of just walked up to the front of the line. You know, there'd be lines out to the club, and I would be the one that walks right up to the front, and, you know, they let me in, and I'd have to be with a group of girls, and that was my nightlife. Wow. If I wasn't at work, that was what I was doing. And in the moment, it felt like I was happy until I was doing it for many, many years, and stood in the middle of it and was wondering what was this all for.
Really?
Because it was actually on my birthday. I was, you know, I remember we're celebrating my birthday literally all month long. I had rooftop pool parties. I had, you know, the VIP parties, and and every single one of those moments, I stood in the middle of it and was like, this doesn't bring me happiness. This doesn't bring me joy. Like, why am I doing this? I've been doing this all. Like, what is this drinking and this? There has to be more to life than just this, than just drinking and hanging out and getting drunk. And there had to be more. There had to be more to life. And there is.
Yeah.
I found that.
Yeah, you did. You found that. And so when you said that you were like, you lived to get the validation of other people, it's like, how did that work? Like, how does somebody try to gain validation from other people?
Well, in my career, I worked my way up really fast. I started as a sales associate at my previous job, and then worked up to an intern manager and became a manager literally within 9 months. Mm-hmm. being at that job. And then I was there for 18 years at that previous job.
Wow.
And worked my way up where I was walking zone vice presidents, VPs of stores and things like that. But I was looking for the recognition. I wanted the title. I wanted the visibility. I wanted to be known.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wasn't at work, you know, I wanted to be known amongst friends. I wanted to be popular. I wanted to be, you know, the one that was social and the one that everybody wanted to know.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay. So here, you know, like from the outside, that, you know, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like, man, Estella, you have such a great life. But you came to grips with, wait a second. No, this sucks. What sucked about it?
I was also in debt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd spend all my money. I was always wanting the newest outfit. I probably didn't wear most of my outfits. Everyone was like, Stella, I've never seen you wear anything twice. You know, always had to look good. Always wanted to impress others, you know, always had new shoes, you know, that was me. I was always shopping, had the latest trends.
So how much debt were you carrying?
I was over $35,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm. As a single woman?
As a single woman.
Yeah. Okay.
Student loans, consumer debt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you're carrying $30,000 in debt. You're drinking, you're partying, you're sleeping around,
Yep.
right. And, you know, for some, it's like, man, that sounds like a great life, you know,
Yeah.
But you're saying that there was an undertone and you came to the revelation of like, is this really all there is to offer in life?
Yeah.
So what brought you to First Steps to Success?
I wanted something different and I was desperate actually. And I had followed you on social media and all these different things, and I was led back to your website. And I remember my business mentor was the one who actually introduced me to you and had invited me to go to an event, you know, several years back, and I never went because I, you know, had other
plans,
important things to do. And I didn't want to spend the money or invest. I didn't want to spend the investment on myself is what I didn't want to do. That was what I believed. And then I finally decided I wanted to do something different. And I saw the different testimonials of people that had their lives changed. And I just really felt like there has to be more for me too. Mm-hmm. If all these people can change their life and in different ways, what about me? Mm-hmm. And I felt like I had nothing to lose because I didn't. There was, you know, the guarantee of like, you know, I could experience this, and if it doesn't do me anything, then I get my money back. So what do I really have to lose? Mm-hmm. And the next event happened to be in LA, and I lived in San Francisco at the time. So it was just a quick flight there and back, and it was right there. So I made the decision, it was beginning of the year, that I was going to kick off. At the time, it was in the fall of 2013, and I registered for your event in January of 2014. And I was like, this is the best way for me to kick off 2014. Mm-hmm. I want something different. I want to experience something new. Mm-hmm. And that's what brought me to your event.
So what happened in that first event that changed your life? And what changes did you make?
A lot of changes. That first event, it was like the scales came off my eyes. I didn't know that I was blind. I realized I needed to take ownership for my own mistakes, which I made excuses for. And I didn't realize I was making so many excuses for what I was doing with myself, what I was doing to others, the relationships I was destroying by the things I was saying, just the words I would speak, and just being judgmental. There's all these different things about my personal self that I didn't take ownership or accountability for. That was huge. I realized I had so much of my ego that I had to put aside. I had a lot of unforgiveness. And that really was what set me into depression. That was what really set me into a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. That first event, I was in tears that first day. I remember in the first hour that I was there, I couldn't stop crying. I hadn't cried like that since losing my father. And I remember I didn't even care. I knew I needed to cry it out. I knew I needed to let it out, because I was just, I was seeing so much already just within that first hour. And then that first day was phenomenal. I remember going to spiritual equipping that evening. I almost didn't go because it was optional at the time. And I was thinking, if I'm going to really experience this, I need to go. And I went. And spiritual equipping, I'll never forget it, because that was where I got the best treasure, the best gift. And that was meeting my Savior, meeting and returning my life back to the creator of all heaven and earth. And that was the best gift in itself for me. Yeah. I could have walked away with just that, but with everything that you taught, the skills, the tools, I left that weekend buying the whole DJU because I couldn't decide what to buy. And I knew I was going to eventually get all your resources anyway. So I remember buying the whole entire curriculum, your Dani Johnson curriculum, all the tools. And I actually bought all of Issa's CDs as well, because I needed good music to fill my mind and spirit. And that was the turning point of my life, was January 18th, 2014.
Wow. And so what have the results been since that time?
Phenomenal results. I've been able to restore relationships. I've been able to communicate better. I've been able to take accountability for my own mistakes, and see myself differently, and have peace in myself, and love others in a different way, and appreciate others in a different way, and see others for their gifts and their talents, and what they can offer and how I can help them. I paid off within the first 6 months, Dani, that I was coming to your events and staying plugged in. I paid off all my debts. Wow. Was debt free. Wow. I, had several raises. I had several job offers. It was phenomenal.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Obviously, was no longer depressed.
No longer depressed. I've been the happiest I've ever been from that moment. I didn't realize how pivotal that moment was until I made it, and look back. Retrospect, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that event. I'm so grateful for being there, because I wouldn't.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Hey, when we continue back here in a moment, we're going to get a little deeper inside of her story and then maybe take a word of advice from her. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Do you have a closet full of clothes yet say, I have nothing to wear? Are you a mom doing her best but desperately lacking me time? Or maybe your schedule has you dressing practically instead of powerfully. What if I told you there's a system, a blueprint that can save you time, money, and turn every head in the room, as well as impact the world through fashion? Friend, you're in the fashion business whether you like it or not. You're an ambassador representing your faith, your marriage, family, and business. Style is just a skill made easy with 123 Style Me. 10 steps to style success that will expand your leadership, save you hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars. This program will bring you peace of mind, reignite your marriage, make you more productive, respected, and instantly boost your confidence, equipping you to be bold and beautiful. Go to courses.lindapage.com. Again, that is courses.lindapage.com, and make a priceless investment in yourself. Are you confident that you're always getting a good deal? Have you been equipped with the negotiation confidence, strategies, tactics, and supporting tools you need to close world-class deals? Finally, JPA is making the exact same specialized negotiation training and secrets used by the world's largest, most successful corporations available to everyone. Proven in more than 60 countries and used by brands like Adidas, Vodafone, Pfizer, Nokia, and others, the JPA negotiation method will set you up to save money and time while significantly increasing your profits. It doesn't matter if you're buying or selling real estate, closing contracts with suppliers, or selling products and services to individuals or organizations. Using their simple step-by-step negotiation preparation checklist, you'll be ready to confidently slug it out toe-to-toe with the toughest professional negotiators. It's time for you to stop leaving money and opportunity on the table. Go to bizneg.com/events to register now. Again, that's bizneg.com/events. Get registered today.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what poverty-stricken families are dealing with in Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic needs of food, clean water, and safe housing. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming Nicaragua. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Nicaragua. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So you might be playing the game just like Estella was, you know, trying to look good to everybody else, always wearing the new shoes, having the new clothes, clubbing at the best places, being the VIP, working your way up to the top in your corporate ladder, thinking everything is good and it's hot and it's wonderful. And then really deep down inside, you're deeply depressed and really wondering, what is this life really all about? That's exactly where Estella Heng found herself from California, stumbles her way by way of a colleague that she worked with into a First Step Success, which is a 3-day intensive training seminar where she got to learn, well, a lot about herself and the others that were around her and how to be able to manage her finances different and really to have a vision for her future. This took her out of that depression within 6 months of plugging into every single First Steps to Success after that, paid off all $30,000 worth of debt and became completely debt-free. No longer depressed, most important, her spiritual life. She found it. Again, something that she had walked away from. So Estella, we also heard that your income changed.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that. What happened to you financially after plugging into First Step Success and using the tools that are available at that seminar?
Using the tools that you taught, Dani, it's incredible. What I used to strive for in 50, 60, ridiculous hours, maybe even more. There was times where I was salary and I worked 70, 80 hours a week. Like I was,
wow.
Oh gosh, I was working way too much. What I made in a month salary, I have now made in a week salary, a week's worth of work. So I am amazed because that was just, now it's been over 4 years. So to think that what I used to strive for in a month, 50, 60 plus hours a week to make what I made, and now I make that in a week.
Wow.
I'm still in awe. I'm still just amazed.
So you've significantly cut your hours back.
Significantly. I do not work the same amount of hours at all. I work like a quarter of that, if that.
Wow.
If that tells you, yes.
Wow.
Using your strategies, using your techniques, what you have equipped.
Wow.
In the seminars and all your resources that you've offered.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and so you're one that presses play on those tools. You got the whole DJU. You press play every day, and you're utilizing those materials. What do you say to the person that is watching you right now, who is saying, I don't have the money to go to First Step Success April 20th, 21st, and 22nd. It's all the way in Washington, D.C. You know, I'll wait till it comes to California. Or I'll wait till it comes to Texas. Or I'll wait till it comes to Canada. I'll wait till it comes to Italy. You're going to wait a long time. Yeah. What do you say to that person who is living that life, thinking they had it all together like you did, but having that debt, has an underlying pressure of depression, who wants a different life, who wants a change in their life, who wants a better life, and is just sitting there on the fence thinking that, you know, it's too expensive or it's too soon or whatever?
I want to tell you, if you're looking for transformation, you can't put a price on your family. You can't put a price on what your life is worth.
Yeah. You
need to be there. There is nothing worth missing. There's not an amount, a dollar that can be put on the price. Your seminar should be twice, 3 times, quadruple the price of what it is. And I wish I would have done it sooner. I wish I would have taken the challenge at the time that it was given to me. And I waited 3.5 years before I went to an event. Look what that cost me. I wish I would have done it sooner. So I'm speaking to you. If you want transformation in your life, if you want better, if you want greater, if you want more, I will see you at the next event. Yeah. I suggest you register at www.danijohnson.com and register for the next live event, and I'll see you there. And come say hi. Yes.
Now you know what she looks like. So click on events. When you go to DaniJohnson.com, the next event is in Washington, D.C., April 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Again, that's April 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Washington, D.C., 3 days with people like Estella. People who are doing phenomenal, but were doing cruddy before, living a lie, living according to status quo of success. And now she's gotten her life back. Now she has freedom of time. She just spent 2 weeks in Israel. You know what I mean? Like, how amazing that she could take a trip like that, a very expensive trip like that, and be able to do that. So if you want freedom of time, you want a better future, you want better relationships, you want to cut your hours back by 75% and increase your income, then we'll see you in Washington, D.C. on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Prior to getting to Dani Johnson's First Steps to Success, my husband and I were completely broke. We just filed bankruptcy. We lost our home to foreclosure, and we were on food stamps. After the second day of her event, we figured out where all our money was going. We got ourselves out of debt in 3 months. We paid off $18,000 worth of debt and are completely debt-free. And now we've finally created a life of our dreams. We've made a 6-figure business, and we're just doing everything that we want. So if you're thinking about coming to First Steps to Success, you've got to make it happen. Sign up right now and make sure you don't miss it.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was hopelessly lost in addiction. My relationships with people, coworkers, family, friends failed. I was struggling under the bondage of debt, and I had no clear vision or purpose for my life. After attaining my first steps to success, I've been able to pay off $7,000 in debt in about 4.5 months. I have a clear vision and purpose for my life. I can honestly say that my addictions are a thing of the past. If you're interested in changing your life in whatever way, in whatever area, you need to log into DaniJohnson.com, and you need to be at the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to coming to First Steps, I was miserable. I never talked to people because I thought I was shy, I thought I was boring, and I thought that I was destined to be alone forever. After coming to First Steps to Success, I broke through all of those lies. I built confidence, and I used the skills that I've learned there to get myself an amazing job where I will be put quickly into a position of leadership. So if you're ready to find out who you are, why you are the way you are, and how to get new skills to dramatically change your life, you need to join me at the very next First Steps to Success. No excuses, no delays, get registered now.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Massachusetts. And before plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was buried under a sea of self-doubt, fear, and my communication skills were non-existent. Sales non-existent as well. But after attending First Steps to Success, my sales have quadrupled, my fear has been lifted, and my relationships are better than ever because I communicate better than ever. If you want your life to turn around, all your dreams start coming to fruition, you are going to be at First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging in to Dani Johnson, my husband and I were drowning in a sea of debt. I had broken relationships all around me of the ones that I cared most about, and I had started a company that was losing more money than it was making. And after plugging into Dani Johnson, we have paid off $196,000 in 13 months. My company has grown 90%, and I have relationships that I could never have even imagined with the ones I care most about around me. So I don't know about you. Maybe you're making all the money you need to. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe your relationships are phenomenal. But if they're not, I encourage you to get to the next first steps to success.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Okay, so I know that after hearing the story of Estella that you had to have been inspired. But right now, I'm going to bring to you a couple who also are equally inspiring. You know, you could be married for a really long time, and then you just kind of get in the doldrums, is what I call it. Like things get dull, and then you're just beating to the dull drum of life. And we could have like dull finances. We could have a dull sex life. We could have dull in our parenting. Like really, why do I say dull? Because it says that if the axe is not getting sharpened, then the axe is now dull. And when the axe is dull, it cannot cut down that tree as effectively. And it's going to take a lot more strength and effort on your part to cut that down, to accomplish that goal. It's going to take so much more out of you if you're not sharp. And so sometimes, as we get older, we can just like settle into this life of mediocrity. We can settle into being average. And again, we might think we're not average, but when we look around, it's like, we're kind of average, and is that really what you want out of life? Well, Neal and Kerry Goren from Houston, Texas, join us now to share with us where they were before and then where they are now, to inspire you to get hope, to take the next step, to not settle for dull drums, beating a dull drum, or having that part of your life that's just kind of getting boring, kind of just going through the motions, repeat and keep repeating. That kind of life sucks. Anyway, so Neal and Kerry, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dani.
Hi. Thanks for having us. We're honored to be here today. Thank you so much.
I miss you guys. Our trip to Israel together was so amazing, and I got to spend so much time with you guys, especially, which I really, really enjoyed. And being a part of your guys' renewal right there on the Lake of Galilee. Give me a break. The Sea of Galilee. What a special moment. So anyway, but your life has not always been the way it is right now. So Kerry, you were the one that heard about the DaniJohnson.com community and website first.
Exactly. I had been following you. I'd been plugging into your Monday night phone calls and read your books, and I actually found you through network marketing, which we used to do. We don't do that anymore, but it was amazing. And so I, had tried to pull my husband into reading and plugging into the calls, but that didn't quite work. So in 2013, the beginning of the year, I decided that we had to do something completely different. And so I physically dragged him to the first event. He did not want to come. And after that, he was hooked. So 2013 is when we actually started plugging into your live events.
Wow. So, why? What needed to change, Kerry? What was it that brought you to that place in your life where you said, I don't want to do it like this anymore?
Yeah, I mean, life is challenging. Mostly money issues, and relationship. Most couples argue about money, and so we had been living paycheck to paycheck. I had was doing network marketing and was trying to get him to help me out, and that didn't work. He was working a full-time job, and I just decided we just needed to do something different. Something needed to change, and so I was just tired of arguing and living paycheck to paycheck. I was tired of not having a great relationship with my husband. So that was always hard. Him working full time and then me being at home taking care of the kids, that was always tough as well. Being a mom is a full-time job. So it was hard. It was hard. I got tired of fighting about money, and I got tired of not being able to learn how to communicate. I was not so nice back in those days, and I still get challenged these days, and that's something that we're still working on, and why we still continue to plug in, because there's something that we gain every time we go. Every time we attend a live event, it's important for us to figure out what we need to focus on and what we need to work on. So that's why we continue to go, because we constantly need work. Always.
All of us do, and forever. And I think it's such a giant fallacy that for some reason that once we exit college, for those of you who went, I did not go, but for those of us who attend school, if you will, as soon as we're done and we get our certificate, somehow we think we're done learning and we don't have to learn anything anymore. Not only that, but school certainly did not prepare us for marriage. It certainly did not prepare us for finance at all. It didn't prepare us for parenting either, and unless we had perfect parents that were perfectly mature while they were raising us, we got not always the best version of them. It says that grandparents are usually better parents. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but anyway, the point is that I know that mindset exists. I just, we're done learning. And that's what I admire about you guys, is that you're not done learning. You're always going to keep learning. Now, Neal, your wife mentioned a few things, and I want to get your side of the story. I want to hear your perspective. And so here you are a hardworking man. You're providing for your family. Your wife is being able to stay home with the kids, and she's fighting with you about money. What were those fights about?
It's just paying the bills. It's like from hand to mouth is how we were dealing with life. And all our arguments were pertaining to such.
Wait, stop. That is harsh, Kerry.
But it was true.
Oh my God. That is so harsh. Oh my gosh. Okay, Neal, I want you to keep telling on your wife. Okay, and there's a reason for it. There is a method to my madness. I'm going to tell you why. And Kerry, I know your ego is in the right place. And this is the reason why. Because we do things that we don't realize we're doing that is actually hurting our husband financially. And so that kind of sarcasm of, we're hand to mouth, man. Is this really providing for the family? I could just hear the sarcasm dripping from the statements. Oh my gosh. And then here's the sad thing is that we expect our husband to feel like he can conquer the world and somehow make more money. Wow. You know what I mean? That degrading him somehow is supposed to empower him to be able to do better, or that he even needs to do better, or that he even needs to do more. Okay, so Neal, keep going, because I want to hear from the man's perspective as a husband who's working hard for your family, who should be feeling pretty darn good about himself, that in this world, in today's world, that you are able to provide for your family enough for your wife to raise your kids instead of someone else raising your kids. So what else? What were some of the other things she said? Because you're going to help other married couples right now when they hear this.
Well, a lot of it is also working in the corporate America has been a challenge. And when you go from one job to the next, and I've gone through several positions in my career and made a lot of career changes, and a lot of them there's a lot of promises or empty promises that occur when you first start off with a company. So the initial is, okay, great, I'm going to make some more money. We're going to do better with our lives. And then things don't come to fruition like they're supposed to. The other aspect of it is also, the more, and it's something you said, which is, it kept with me, is that the more money you make, the more in debt you get.
Yep.
And that was a big turnaround for us.
Yep.
But going back to the subject is that you work so hard, you have so many, and I dealt in a kind of a service providing business. And in doing so, it's thankless. There are no, you try to do better and better, and all you need is one person complaining, and that's all they see.
Yeah.
And the bosses aren't happy. They want more and more.
Yeah.
And there's only so much time you can put into a day and a week without making yourself crazy.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I used to be in broadcasting, and I worked 24/7, and that was thankless. And I got out of it. I had to.
And the pay sucks. The pay sucks in broadcasting too.
It does.
It really does.
Out of college, I started in Houston. I was 20 cents above minimum wage.
There you go. There you go.
But
you had the prestige of working in broadcasting. I'm in TV. I have the job, and I'm 20 cents over minimum wage. It's so funny. Yes, the Hollywood world and the broadcasting world, that is some of the biggest of all facades, I think, that is out there in the corporate world. By far. By far. Everyone thinks that those people are making so much money. It's like, no. Some of them are making minimum wage. Some of them are. Some of those camera operators are making minimum wage. And some of those directors aren't even scratching $40,000 a year. No joke. There's a small elite. There's like 2% of the people in that world that make big money. And it's if even that. It's even that.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. I mean, I know I've done hundreds of interviews with all those huge networks, and I end up talking to those people, and I ask them those questions, and I'm like, wait, you're the economist on this news show, and you're not a millionaire, and you're giving advice every day? You should be shot. Seriously, it's like, you should be shot. You have people following your advice, and you're broke. Hello, where's the noose? You know what I mean? Oh, that stuff makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So here we are. So we have a married couple who are fighting about money. He's working hard. She's working hard at home. How did things get fixed? We're going to find out here right after this.
Prior to plugging into First Steps to Success, I was a depressed, hopeless, suicidal drug addict. I had no vision for my life. I absolutely hated people, hated myself. I felt shackled by my debt, and I had toxic relationships. Since plugging in, I've been drug-free for almost 18 months. I paid off nearly $14,000 worth of debt in 14 months. I have completely restored my relationships with my friends and my family. I have a vision for my life now, and I'm actually live and not exist anymore. So I don't know if you have debt or not, or if your life's going perfectly the way you want it to go. But if not, I highly recommend you get registered today for the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, we were just lost. We had no hope and light at the end of the tunnel, and we were drowning in debt. After coming to First Steps to Success and plugging into DaniJohnson.com, our income has doubled. We have paid off over $76,000 of debt in just 45 months. My husband and my communication skills have just raised us through the roof, and my husband has cut back his hours, making more income. If you want results like these, you better get to First Steps to Success.
I have been plugging into Dani Johnson for the last 8 years, believe it or not. And people say, why so long? Well, because there's a lot to do in life, and it has changed every area of my life. My business has exploded, my spiritual life has been unmatched, and my relationship with my wife and my family has just been fantastic. We've paid off over $200,000 of debt in just 2 years. We're debt-free, and I just could not be happier. But if you want to change any area of your life, whether it's your business, your marriage, your relationship with your kids, your financial situation, or getting out of debt, or your spiritual life, I would tell you, you cannot afford to miss First Steps to Success. It has just been a blessing to me and my family. So I really invite you to just get online and get your ticket to the next First Steps to Success. Thank you very much.
Go to DaniJohnson.com to find out about our next live event, First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
My name is Mia, and this is my awesome husband, Tony Gray. We're both from Maryland. Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, we were beyond a mess. Probably an earthquake would be a better description. We were very young and married in high school. I was pregnant at 13. I was abandoned, abused, often turned to drugs and alcohol. And we just didn't know what to do. We knew how to put on a facade and come out before people. We worked long hours. He was never, ever home, and he was losing relationships with me and the kids. We were at the divorce attorney, ready just to quit. We didn't know a way out, and our debt, we just hung ourselves, it seems, every day, just going to work, spending, and then there was debt. We didn't know what to do. But after filing bankruptcy twice, you would think, well, you know what to do then. Well, we didn't. We kept making stupid decisions. And we were really just ready to quit. We were ready to give up. And we didn't see that there was any hope. I was actually depressed a whole lot. And since we got married so young, we wanted to be like the rest of our family and be divorced, because we were the only ones that were married for a long period of time. We lost several kids, but God blessed us with that. And after plugging in with DaniJohnson.com, life changed forevermore.
It's funny, I heard Dani say, talked about Donald Trump, and that was my way of life. He did it. He was a multi-millionaire. He filed bankruptcy multiple times, but I knew that wasn't the answer. I was working more hours, had a six-figure income, and found we were in more debt. But since plugging into War in Debt, in 36 months, we paid off $126,000. To me, it's all about giving back. And my wife has the biggest heart that I know, so it was her mission to not only get the information for us, but to share it in our community. So we had hundreds of people come to classes, but we had 92 people take action. And of those 92 people, in 34 months, they paid off $3.6 million.
Our marriage has been fully restored. Our children are absolutely amazing. They all own their own businesses. We raise 6 amazing kids every single day. And I can't tell you, without the DJU curriculum, without all of the products, we came at the beginning and we were piecemealing it, but that didn't work for us. You know how Dani says when you get the recipe, you need to get all the ingredients and not try to figure out, should I get the egg, should I get the milk? You just get it all and you follow directions. We follow directions and our life has changed forevermore, and we won't go back. We're just going ahead. So without further ado, help us bring back to the stage America's favorite millionaire, Miss Dani Johnson.
The way you look at things is about to change. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
All right, so you're fighting. You're the wife sarcastically saying to your husband, you call this provision? That's exactly where Kerry was. By her own admission that she wasn't very nice to her husband. Husband's working hard. He's working in corporate America. He's working a thankless job. And yes, you know, he obviously has advanced himself and advanced his finances and helped provide more for the family. But what hit them when they went to First Steps to Success is the more money you make, the further in debt you go. So joining us from Houston, Texas, Kerry and Neal Goren. Hi, guys. Hey. Okay, so you, and this is like, when you said those words, even though those words have come out of my mouth thousands of times before tens of thousands of people, something hit me. And it was really powerful when I heard you say those words, Neal, that you were saying you heard from me. And here's what it was. It's like, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you've had raises through the years, but you've also raised your debt load through the years. And how we end up living paycheck to paycheck is because we increase our debt load in the same ratio that we increase our income. And so when we're increasing our debt load, that means less money we're actually seeing every month. Because it's already allocated to the mortgage, to the car payments, to the credit cards, to the student loans. It's all already allocated there. So there's nothing left over. It's all going towards these bills because we have not been trained right on what to do with the increase of our income. So right away, you guys started applying the things that you learn at First Step Success, which I'm so excited. The next one's going to be in Washington, D.C. on April 20th through the 22nd. And I cannot wait to get my hands on and eyes on the new group of people who are going to be attending that event and new people just like you guys. So you tell me the results. You come out of First Steps to Success. You immediately begin to apply the information. What was the very first change that you saw?
Well, the first thing that we decided that we got from First Steps in January of 2013 is that it was debt. Mm-hmm. It was the whole debt issue. And that really kind of hit us between the eyes. And so what Neal said is that, the more money we started to make, the more debt we got into. Mm-hmm. And so that whole thing of buying things that we don't really need and getting ourselves further in debt really was something that we needed to do. Mm-hmm. So we started plugging in, we followed the directions, and we came home and we cut our fat. And actually, Neal and I just had this conversation this morning about it. That was not easy. Mm-hmm. When you go back and you realize that there's certain things that you have in your budget that you don't need at the moment, it was really eye-opening, and I remember my heart sinking when we had to get rid of our cable. I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do without 250 stations that don't have anything on them anyway, and what are my kids going to think? And so I just remember thinking, is that the right thing to do? But in the end, we did. I think we ended up cutting between $700 to $1,000 a month in bills that we didn't need anymore. So it was an adjustment, and it was interesting because 6 months later, the kids said, really, Mom, Dad, I don't really miss TV anymore. Wow. So that was great. And so we still to this day kind of teach our kids that when they're spending money, do you want it or do you need it? Mm-hmm. Because when you're spending money now, you're taking away from your own future. Yes. And so that's something that they're learning, and they're very, very cognizant about what they buy now and how they use their own money.
Which is so amazing that it's been 5 years, right? So your kids are teenagers today, and now it's like, wow, that you were able to save them. You know what I mean? Versus them being in their late 20s, but you were able to halt that bad financial training and now put good financial training into them. Okay, so how much debt have you guys been able to pay off?
We paid off $38,000 in debt within the first 8 months of attending our first event. Wow! And we've completely stayed debt free since then.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Everything we pay for, we save up, we pay cash. We do use credit cards, but we use them wisely, and we pay them off every single month. So, so that's been great.
Okay. Now, also, you grew an e-commerce business online.
Yep.
What? So, you were failing in a home-based business, and now you took those strategies that we teach at First Steps to Success, which some have made millions in network marketing doing that. We have many who've made millions building online businesses and millions in storefronts or in building corporations. So, what happened with your new e-commerce business that you built?
Well, it was interesting because we were doing network marketing, and again, I was dragging my husband to do that, and he hated that. Mm-hmm. He hated coming home from work and doing the stuff that I didn't like to do. For me, that cold calling stuff was always challenging, but your script book helped me tremendously with that. Mm-hmm. So I just by chance decided that something came across my newsfeed about an e-commerce business, and I'm like, oh, let me do that. And the reason I decided to choose e-commerce is because my kids spend so much time on the computer. Yeah. So I thought, well, maybe they'll help grow that business. Mm-hmm. So I asked my husband if he was interested, and he goes, no, that's your deal. I'm not doing that again. So I slowly worked it and I grew it. I took on a business partner. Stacy is a great friend of mine, and she's been a Facebook friend of mine for a long time. And so we partnered up. And the minute we did that and we started utilizing the tools and the skills and digging in and not being fearful, their first year in our e-commerce business together with our partner, we grew our business to 1.6 million the first year. Oh my God. And then at the end of this last year, which was our second full year in business, we hit 4.2 million in e-commerce sales online.
Oh my gosh.
So,
what?
Yeah, so I know. It still shocks me to today. So, I mean, it's been amazing. And I couldn't, they say surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. And, I give Stacy so much credit because she knows way more than I do. We matched our strengths and our weaknesses together perfectly. And then because of our e-commerce business, now Neal has retired from his job as of January of 2017. So he's been home a little over a year. Wow. And he helps us. He's the Emerald personality, so he helps us stay organized, and he's our COO of our company now. So we've done amazingly well, and we're just blessed to be able to work from home and to have partnered up with such a great partner. So.
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. That is so crazy. And then to be able to afford, like it was not only you and your husband, like Neal and Kerry went to Israel, but they brought their 2 children with them. So we're talking a family that 5 years ago was struggling financially and fighting over money, right? And giving digs on each other, right? And Neal working so hard and trying to fix it. And look what happened. You guys paid off that $38,000 worth of debt. You have not stopped plugging into First Steps to Success and creating a dynasty. You've continued to do so. And to be able to afford $20,000 trip, more than $20,000 for that trip, because it was $5,000 a person just from New York to over there. So, I mean, there was more expenses on top of that. Look at you guys. A business first year, $1.2 million. Next year, $4 million. I mean, oh my gosh, like that is so outrageous. I had no idea that was your story, by the way. I had no clue.
Well, if I can add to it, Dani, there is also, you're kind of part of this story, of your major parts of the story. But in the at Dynasty in 2016, at the end of the year, Kerry and I were talking about me retiring. Yep. And we kept on we were saying like, okay, April 2017, I'll just resign. Then we moved it to March. Then we said February. And they said, well, maybe January. And what happened was the morning of, I think it was the Sunday of the Dynasty.
Okay, hold on. We have to cut to a real quick break. Okay. Here's the cliffhanger. You're about to hear what she said. We'll continue with more right after this.
Prior to getting started with DaniJohnson.com and First Steps to Success, we were spending absolutely every dime that we made. We were really struggling financially. Since plugging in to First Steps to Success just 4 months ago, we started a brand new business that is doing very, very well. We've paid off $4,500 in debt, but the most important thing is my relationship with my husband has improved like dramatically. I mean, we have so much more fun together. I don't know about you, maybe your finances, you're doing great, maybe you're debt-free, maybe your relationships with your spouse, with your family are great. But if not, if you have some areas in your life that feel a little out of control or there's things that you need to work on, I highly recommend getting to First Steps to Success as soon as you can.
Prior to being dragged out to First Steps to Success, I was hopeless. I had no point to life. It was a day-to-day existence, working a job I despised for people I didn't respect. Deeper and deeper debt every year. You just couldn't get on top of it. I just had no hopes or dreams, none at all, and there was no point to life. But since coming out, we paid off $280,000 worth of debt, married the woman of my dreams. I came to love my job and the people I work for. I have all kinds of hopes and dreams. I get to watch them happen every day. I don't know what your life is like, There's probably tons of hope. You probably know why you live and you got places you're going, but if you don't, you need to sign up for First Steps to Success. You go to DaniJohnson.com and you click on it and be here, because your life will not be the same if you do.
Prior to First Steps to Success, I was drowning in debt, I was terrified of my bills, and I wanted to travel, but I never had the money. And since coming to First Steps to Success, in the last 14 months, I've paid off over $18,000 in debt. I've gone on 6 vacations, and I'm not terrified of my bills anymore. So if you want to learn some proven strategies to really learn how to connect with people, take your life to the next level, all while having a total blast, you need to get registered for the next First Steps to Success today.
Prior to coming to First Step to Success, we were totally struggling, totally under the weight of $640,000 worth of debt, making $20,000 a month, but living paycheck to paycheck. So when we came here and I realized that it takes a totally different skill set to keep money, to create wealth than it is to make money, I have totally turned around our lifestyle. We have paid off $640,000 worth of debt in 2 years. We are debt-free as of June of 2013. I don't know where you're at. You might have all your finances in order. You might have a wonderful life. Your marriage might be all perfect and your kids are behaving. But if not, if one of those things is lacking, you gotta get here. Book your next event. You need to be here. You will not regret it.
It's time for a checkup from the neck up. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Come on. You fighting with your spouse? That's what Neal and Kerry were doing. They didn't have enough money. They had too much debt. They had too much financial pressure. Hello? To paying off all of that debt after First Steps to Success, to then starting an e-commerce business. And hello? First year, over $1 million. Second year, $4 million. Whatever. So Neal, go ahead and continue. You were at Creating a Dynasty, which is our second advanced level training seminar. You heard something on that Sunday morning. Go for it.
It was a voice, because we were in Austin or San Antonio, and the voice said to me, "You need to resign. You need to resign now."
And you did.
And I was just before I was getting ready to go and see the ending event on Sunday.
Wow.
So it was, and spiritually, that's a lot of what we've been experiencing through First Steps and through Dynasty. And, you know, it's really, if you have a situation in your life where you're not happy, money's an object, you're fighting with your spouse, you lost spirituality, you have so many angsts in your life that are hurting you, if you feel the pain, you need to go to First Steps to Success in April and be turned around, because what Dani teaches is not just one time, it's every time you'll get something else out of it.
Yep.
And that's how we do it. We get more and more from each event. And most importantly, the camaraderie, the community, because they're there to help you. Yep. And they do it out of love. And that's what was amazing about the community, and most importantly, the Israel trip. That was above and beyond. I mean, I believe we have friends for life now that will never leave us.
Yes, yes, yes. So there you have it, Kerry and Neal Goren from being suffocating under debt, fighting all the time about money, to paying off all of their debt, becoming debt-free, starting a business just 2 years ago. They came 5 years ago and have continued to plug in. And then 2 years ago, start a brand new business. First year, $1 million, second year, $4 million. What will be your story? What will be yours? You'll never know unless you are in Washington, D.C., April 20th through the 22nd of this year. Okay, so this is it. You have like a week. Pull it together, get it together, make it happen. They couldn't afford to go to their first seminar either. Now today, obviously, they can afford a $25,000 trip to go to Israel for their family of 4. And no more debt. Being wise financially. Having the money to save to go and do the things and to live the life that they want to live. Don't you want to offer your children the same kind of thing? Don't you want to be able to pass down to your kids good financial wisdom versus passing on more debt, more pain, more suffering? Don't you want to pass on good relationship skills? This is now what Kerry and Neal are doing for their kids. This is now what they're demonstrating. Not to mention, we all need a few new friends, especially those who are after the same thing. They want to make life better. They're taking advantage of the opportunity to make life better. And so you couldn't be around a greater group of people than the people like Neal and Kerry, as well as the many hundreds of others that you're going to meet while you're there, April 20th through the 22nd in Washington, D.C. That's it for us today. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been The Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.